This is part four of the quick graphic novel version of Frankenstein. So we're reading pages 52 to 66. Volume 3, Chapter 4. I was taken to the judge, an old man with calm and kind manners. He looked at me, however, quite unkindly. Who is appearing as a witness? I am, sir. I was out in my boat with my brother-in-law, Daniel Nugent. As I was walking home along the beach, I hit my foot on the body of a man. His clothes were dry. Someone had killed him. The black marks from the monster's fingers were on his neck. Mr. Kerwin, I remembered my brother's murder, and I felt extremely shaken. Mr. Kerwin saw that I was badly affected. Of course, he thought I was guilty. My name, my name is Daniel Nugent, sir. Just before we found the body, I saw a man in a boat quite close to the shore. It looked like the same boat that this man had just landed in. A woman also saw a man in a boat. He sailed away from the place where the body was found. They all agreed that the strong wind had driven me back to the shore to where I had left the body. Show him the body. I want to see how he reacts. I was calm. I knew that the people on the island I had left could prove my innocence. I was talking to them when the body was found. No, my dearest Henry, not you too. I've already destroyed two people, but you, Clerval, my friend. The sight of Henry was too much for me. I fell down in a fit. I was very sick for 2 months. I said some dreadful things of my illness, I learned later. I called myself the murderer of William, Justine, and Clerval. Fortunately, only Mr. Kerwin understood my native language, but my loud cries frightened the other people around me. Why didn't I die? I was more miserable than anyone had ever been before. But I survived, and after 2 months I woke up in prison. Are you better now, sir? I believe I am. I'm sorry I'm still alive to feel this pain and horror. Yes, it would be better for you if you were dead, but that's none of my business. I'm just here to take care of you and to make you well. I soon learned that Mr. Kerwin had been extremely kind to me. He had given me the best room in prison, and a doctor and a nurse. One day while I was slowly recovering, he visited me. You will soon leave this place, I hope. I'm sure something will show that you are innocent. When you became sick, I looked through all the papers that you had. I found a letter from your father in Geneva, and I wrote to him. Oh no, tell me, who is dead now? Your family is perfectly well, and someone has come to visit you. Father, you're safe. And Elizabeth and Ernest? Everyone is safe. What a place this is, my son. You traveled to find happiness, but something terrible seems to follow you. And poor Clerval. I had to travel nearly 100 miles to appear in court. Mr. Kerwin arranged my defense. The court decided that I was innocent. We proved that I was on the Orkney Islands when the body was found. I was allowed to go free. I could breathe fresh air and go home, but for me, everywhere was hateful. I often wanted to end my life, but I still had one duty. I had to take care of the people I loved, and I had to fight the murderer. Volume 3, Chapter 5. When we reached Paris, I received a letter from Elizabeth. Tell me, tell me, dearest Victor, do you love someone else? I love you, but it is your happiness that I desire. Elizabeth. I remember the monster's threat. I will be with you on your wedding night. He had decided to kill me on that night. Sweet Elizabeth, I would die to make her happy. My dearest Elizabeth, I am afraid that little happiness remains for us on earth. However, all my future happiness is centered on you. I promise myself to you and no one else. I have one dreadful secret which will fill you with horror. I will tell it to you the day after our marriage. Until then, do not mention it. Victor. We returned to Geneva. Elizabeth welcomed me warmly. Have you promised yourself to another woman? No, I love Elizabeth and I'm looking forward to our wedding. Let's fix the date now. We got married 10 days later. I carried a knife and gun to protect myself. Elizabeth seemed happy and my father was full of joy. but I had only prepared for my own death, not for the death of anyone dear to me. Elizabeth had inherited from her family a small house by Lake Como. We planned to spend our first days there. After the wedding, we went by boat to Evian. You're sad, my love. Let me enjoy the happiness of today, after everything I have suffered. Be happy, my dear Victor. Something whispers to me that I mustn't look forward to happiness, but I won't listen to such a voice. What a beautiful day, how happy and calm nature looks. Those were the last moments of my life when I felt happy. As we reached the shore, my fear returned. It has stayed with me and will stay forever. Volume 3, Chapter 6. We took a short walk along the shore and admired the lovely scene. Suddenly the wind grew stronger and a heavy rain came down. I was anxious and held tightly to my gun. So notice the weather change here. Something big, dramatic, huge is about to happen. What are you afraid of, Victor? Oh, it's just the storm. It's a dreadful night. Please go to bed, my love. I'll join you later. Victor. She left me and I searched the house for the monster, but I found nothing. Ah! As I heard the scream, I realized what was happening. Elizabeth! I fainted. When I recovered, I rushed toward her. I held her in my arms. The marks of the monster's fingers were on her neck. I looked up at the window and saw the monster. He seemed to smile as he pointed to the dead body of my wife. He ran away and into the lake. The sound of the gun attracted a crowd who helped me look for the monster. After several hours, we returned. We hadn't found him. Many of the people thought that I had imagined him. I was in a cloud of confusion and horror. The deaths of William, Justine, Clerval, and now my wife. My father and Ernest might die next. I decided to return to Geneva as quickly as possible. My father and Ernest were alive, but my father was very badly affected by Elizabeth's death. It was too much for him, and a few days later he died in my arms. What happened to me then? I don't know. I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was alone in a dark room in a prison. I'd been there for many months. When I was allowed to leave, I visited a judge in the town. I wanted to tell him about the monster. Sir, I know who murdered my brother and my wife. I want you to help me find him. I'll do everything that I can, sir. Thank you. My story's strange, but it's all true. I told him my story. At first, he couldn't believe it, but as I continued, he became more interested. It's your duty to catch this murderer. I'd like to, but this creature sounds too powerful, and no one knows where he could be now. You refuse to help me? Then I'll find him myself. I'll destroy him. I left his house angrily. I went away to think about what to do. Volume 3, Chapter 7. Revenge gave me strength. I decided to leave Geneva forever. But first I found myself by the graves of William, Elizabeth, and my father. Their spirits seemed to fly around. I felt very angry. I will follow the monster who has caused these deaths until either he dies or I die. Let him feel the dreadful sadness that I feel. Ha ha ha, I'm happy. You've decided to live, miserable creature. I ran toward him, but he escaped. I ran after him and have been following him for many months. I followed him through France and then to the Black Sea. Then I went after him through Russia. He left messages on trees or stones to guide me. I bought a sled and dogs. I crossed the snow quickly and came closer to him. When I had almost reached him, the ice broke. The sea came between us, and I was left on a piece of ice. So remember, this is all flashbacks, and now we're coming back to present time where Victor Frankenstein is talking to Robert Walton. When I saw your ship, I managed to move toward it. You saved me when I was close to death. I still fear death because I haven't completed my task. If I die, Walton, find him and kill him. Promise me, please. And then we're switching perspectives again, and we're going back to Robert Walton here, who is writing letters to his sister, Margaret. August 26, 1700 something. My dear Margaret, you have read the strange and terrible story. I believe that it is true. This monster really exists. Sometimes I ask Frankenstein about how he made this creature. Are you crazy, my friend? Do you want to create another monster? Learn from my mistakes and don't make yourself completely miserable. I've finally found the friend I was looking for. However, I think I will lose him. He has no interest in life at all. Thank you for your kindness, Walton, but all my friends are dead. No one can replace them. Only one thought keeps me alive. I must follow and destroy the monster I created. Then I can die. September 2nd. My dear sister, we are surrounded by mountains of ice. The brave men who are with me are in danger. They look to me for help, but I can't give them any. My crazy schemes may be the cause of our deaths. September 5th. I was afraid that the men would refuse to obey me. Captain, if the ship gets free of the ice, you must take us south. South, we insist. What do you mean? What are you demanding? Are you running away at the first sign of danger? Go home as men who have succeeded, not failed. The men were unable to reply. Think about it. I will not lead you farther north if you do not want to go. Yes, Captain. September 7th. The matter is settled. I have agreed to return. If we get free of the ice, I am very disappointed. September 12th. It is over. I'm returning to England. I have lost my hopes of glory, and I have lost my friend. Three days ago, the ice began to move. Islands of ice broke off in all directions. We were in great danger, but we could do nothing. My unfortunate guest was so sick that he had to stay in bed. They're happy because this means we'll soon go back to England. Are you really going to go back? Yes, I can't lead them into greater danger. I will come with you. I must do what I have promised. I'm weak, but the spirits who help me will give me strength. He tried to get out of bed, but it was too much for him. He fell back and fainted. The doctor told me that he would live for only a few hours. My strength has gone. I will soon die, and my enemy may still be alive. I was crazy when I made him. He destroyed my family and friends. He ought to die so that he doesn't kill anyone else. But I can't ask you to leave your country and friends to find him. I must go now to the arms of the people I love. Goodbye, Walton. Find happiness and peace. He squeezed my hand weakly and closed his eyes forever. Forever. Margaret, what can I say about the death of this wonderful man? How can I express the depth of my sorrow? That noise! A voice! From Frankenstein's room! Great God! When he heard me, he ran towards the window. Stay! He is also my victim. Oh, Frankenstein, can you pardon me? I, who destroyed you and all those you loved. He's cold. He can't answer me. I did not kill my friend's enemy immediately because I felt both interested in him and sorry for him. Your regret is useless now. Why didn't you feel any earlier when he was alive? Do you think that I didn't? Do you think that I enjoyed killing Clerval? It was terrible. You cannot imagine it. After the murder of Clerval, I felt sorry for Frankenstein, but when I discovered that he hoped for happiness, I wanted revenge. I knew it would make me unhappy, but I had to have it. But when she died, I was not miserable. In fact, evil was what I enjoyed. And now it has ended. There is the last victim. Monster, how can you complain about the suffering you have caused? You aren't sad that he is dead. You're sad that you can no longer hurt him. No, no, it's not that. It's not like that. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I'm content to suffer alone. At one time I hoped for human love, but my crimes have placed me below the lowest animal. When I remember everything that I have done, I cannot believe that I am the same creature that at one time wanted only beauty and goodness. But it is so. The fallen angel becomes the devil. So we've got another biblical allusion here. Notice the feathers falling down in this image as well. You seem to know all about my crimes, but Frankenstein could not tell you about the months of suffering that I have had. Am I the only one who has done wrong? What about those people who hated me? It is true that I am a murderer. I have caused great suffering for my Creator. There he lies white and cold in death. You hate me, but I hate myself more, much more. I won't hurt anyone else. My work is nearly complete. Now only my own death is required. I will leave your ship and go to the northernmost part of the world. I will head north and burn myself. In this way, no one else will learn how to make another like me. I will die. Then I won't feel unhappy and have feelings that I cannot satisfy. My Creator is dead. When I am dead, the memory of us both will soon disappear. I won't see the sun or the stars or feel the wind on my face. I will feel nothing. And in this state, I must find my happiness. Soon I will die and my unhappiness will be over. I will be happy at last in the pain of the fire. My spirit will sleep in peace. Goodbye. You are the last person I will ever see. Goodbye, Frankenstein. I will regret what I did until I die. He was soon carried away and was lost in the darkness and distance. The end.